in general today 11.1, which is called areas of triangles and parallelograms. Okay? So we're figuring out the area. So some of this is repeat of stuff that we've done before. This is actually not the right thing on here. We'll just do this. Okay. So we've got a couple of postulates and theorems on the sheet in front of you that we can go over. Let's just talk about them. The area of a square. How do you find the area of a square? Who remembers?
Square of the length and its side.
So all of the lengths are the same, right?
Yeah.
So if we call one of the lengths x, we just do x squared or x times x.
What is the
That would be a rectangle. Area of congruency postulate. If two polygons are congruent, then their area is congruent. Area addition postulate. If the area of a region is the sum of the areas and its non-overlapping parts. So that, for example, is if I have something like this, and then I have this triangle on the ends, okay, and let's say they meet up completely. No overlapping parts, right? I can take the area of this, let's call it x and y, and the area of the whole thing would be x plus y, right? Sorry, it's shaking, guys. It's the wind makes the roof shake, and so it makes that thing shake, so it makes the picture shake. There's nothing I can do about it.
It's gonna storm.
It's really annoying. Actually, it's not supposed to storm at all in this area. It's just going to be windy like this all
Are
day.
you supposed to storm?
Okay, I'm still talking. All right, area of a rectangle. So let's draw. We've got rectangle. You've got this on your sheet. Sometimes pictures next to it helps, so you might do this. We've got length times width is the area of a rectangle.
That's for 11.
Yep. 11.2 is the area of the parallelogram. The only way that the parallelogram is different is because our height is right here. Length, but it's height times length equals area. That's for a parallelogram. And finally, triangle. Triangle is 1/2 base times height equals area of a triangle. Okay. Now we're going to find the area of this crazy figure over here. Ready? We're looking at example 1. We've got a parallelogram, and what else is there?
Triangle.
Okay, so we're going to add them together. Let me slightly draw this picture down. So we've got our parallelogram and our triangle. We know the height of the parallelogram is 6, and we know the length is 18. So we just do 18 times 6, and we're going to add it, and the triangle's height is 12. And we know...
Won't the top of the parallelogram be the same as the bottom?
Yeah.
It's 9.
Right, but the height's not 9, it's 6. This is 9, this is 9, but the height,
That's how many.
but the height's 6. Okay, we're going to assume this, the base of the triangle is the same as the height. We're going to assume that it's a right triangle and they're congruent. This is not drawn correctly. That this is 12. Right, it is a right triangle, but we don't know that it is a congruent right triangle. We don't know it's 45, 45, 90. But we're going to assume. So it's 1/2 times 12 times 12. 12 times 12 is what?
144.
What's half of 144?
12.
No, that's the square root.
22.
So 2 goes into 14 7 times. 2 goes into 14. There we go. Good job. Okay, 8 times 6 is 48. Carry the 4. 6 times 1 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we get 108. So we have to add 108 to 72. And what do we get? 8 plus 2 is 10. 180. And we'll just call this units. And what do we do with area? Did I make a mistake in this? Plus 1/2 times 12 times 8. And remember, order of operations, you have to do all the what first? And all the multiplication first before you add it together. It says 18 times 6 plus 1/2, 12 times 12. Better? Okay. All right. And what do we have to do in this area? We have to square it. Joanne, were you just raising your hand to answer the question? Okay. Thank you for raising your hand. All right. right, let's look at the back. Let's look at the back. We only have 2 more to do, and then you can. I'm going to read to you, and then we're going to work on it. A new book.
Whoa!
It's really, really short, and you'll like it.
We have to do it.
All right. So the base of a triangle is twice its height. Okay, so we're going to call the height h. How would we do twice the height for the base?
H squared.
2 times h. It's not saying it's squared as big, it's saying it's twice as big. And what is the area of the square? According to, 49. So 49 equals what?
H times
1/2
H
times h times 2h. Okay? So we get 49 equals 1/2 times 2h squared. What's half of 2? 1. 49 equals h squared. How do we get rid of the square? Square root it, and so h equals
So I was right in the first place.
Yes. H units. Is it units squared? No. No, because it has to do with the height.
She's looking like
Nice and everything. I'm not sure what you're doing over here, Elisha, but if you could stop, that would be fabulous. I would really love to see your pretty face while you're answering questions instead of smurfness going on over here. Say hey. Alright. Alright, example 3. We're going to solve this multi-step problem. You need to buy paint. So are we paying attention now, or are we still commenting about the smurf thing? Because we've moved on from that point, or at least I have. I don't know. You guys a little behind?
No, we're on example.
We're good?
Yes.
We're at example 3?
Yes.
Okay, you need to buy paint so that you can paint the side of the house. A gallon of paint covers 175 square feet. So how many gallons should you buy? Okay, so this is real life problems here. So we've got a house. Okay, we're going to break it into 2 parts. We're going to assume that we're going to paint the door as well. Oops, this is 22. So you've got 22 feet by 16 feet. And this is 22 feet, and we know that these are congruent. If those are congruent, what kind of triangle does it have to be? That's like what?
Yeah.
Oh, it should be. That was a misprint then. Let's find out the area of the square print first. Yes.
Why would you paint your roof?
It's not the roof. Okay, so the roof's right here. Haven't you seen eaves before?
Oh,
Of houses, it's like up in the eaves.
I was like, why would you paint the roof?
Okay. The real question should be, how come there is no window? All right. So, yes, exactly. How are we going to figure out the square part of a house?
16 times
16 times 22. And then what else are we going to do? We're going to find the what?
Area.
You've got to find the what? We found the square or the rectangle part. What are we going to find the other part? The triangle. So what do we know about this triangle? We know the what of it? We know the base. How are we going to figure out the height?
I got you.
I'm not sure why other people are talking while I'm talking, but if you have something you would like to add to this or you have a question, I would love for you to raise your hand. 22 divided by 2 would give me half, but it would not give me the height. How am I going to find? What happens when I do this? It becomes a what kind of triangle? So we've got a right triangle. What is the base right here? 11, so it's half as big, right? Because we took half of it. So, how would we find that other side right there? Pythagorean theorem. Yes? We don't know that that is a right triangle. We know it's an isosceles triangle, but we don't know it's a right triangle, the rough triangle. Okay, we could use the Pythagorean theorem, but we would need a second side, and we don't have it. So what are we going to do? We're going to use tangent. Okay? We do need the hypotenuse. Well, with a tangent, you don't need the hypotenuse. We know that's 90 degrees, but what are we missing in order to be able to find this? You need an angle. We only have the 90-degree angle. You would have to know another angle. So let's assume that whoever made this, and it wasn't me, doesn't know what that angle is. Okay? That they knew what that angle was and didn't write it down. Let's say that this is 45. Let's assume that's 45. So let's find, excuse me, so we have the angle opposite, and we need to find the one adjacent. So what uses opposite and adjacent? Tangent. So we're going to say the tan of 45 equals the opposite over the adjacent. So we get x, x tan 45 equals 11, divide. X equals 11 divided by tan of 45. Does somebody have a calculator on them right now? They could figure that out. So you're just going to do 11 divided by the tan of 45.
11.
What is it?
1.6 tangent of 45.
No, 11 divided by the tangent of 45.
11 divided by.
I got
How do we do it?
I got 4.2.
So you did 11 divided by. Tan of 45 is 1. So it would be
1.6.
11.
It's
What's the tan of 45, guys? I get
one.
1.
It's just one.
I get the tan of 45 is 1. So you're just going to get x equals 11, which solves our whole height issue. So what we're going to do, plus 1/2 the height, which is 11, times the base, which is 22. Okay? And what do we get when we do this? What's 16 times 22? Those of you with a calculator can answer.
What?
What is it, 352?
Yes.
Okay. What is 11 times 22
242.
divided by 2?
120.
121. What is 121 plus 352?
470.
473 feet. Am I done?
No.
Because I need to find out what?
Gallons.
Gallons. So 175 square feet is the number of gallons that I need. Covers is 1 gallon. So I'm going to use how many gallons? How would I figure that out? I would take 473 and divide it by what?
You use 2.7 gallons.
You would divide it by what? 175. And that your answer would be how much? It would actually be 2.7 gallons. Can you use 0.7 of a gallon?
No.
So it would be how many gallons?
3. 2.70.
Did I spell gallons correctly?
Yeah.
G-A-L-O-N-S.
Yeah.
Yes, you did, Miss Murphy.
Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to walk through how we did this problem because it took a while. Again, okay? Are you ready? First, it was pretty easy to figure out the rectangular part. We did 16 times 22. The triangle part was hard. Okay? We had to figure out what the triangle was. We found out that we assumed that our missing number up here was 45. So the 45, 45, 90 triangle. We used the tangent function to find that x is 11. So that's the height. Then we took the height and plugged it back in. Did 1/2 the height times base. Added it to the rectangular part. And we got 473 square feet. Then we took that and divided it by the number of gallons, a number of square feet 1 gallon can make, and we found it as 2.7 gallons. But we can't paint with 2.7 gallons because you can't buy 0.7 of a gallon. So we used 3 gallons. Yes? No, you could have used special triangles instead of trig functions. That would have been totally fine. Any other questions?